are going to study protein targeting, sorting and associated disorder. So this protein targeting is what? Whatever protein is generated, uh, in the cell as a result of translation process, that particular protein will be now allotted certain place within the cell. Now this particular space is specific for a specific particular protein. This can be either within the cell in the cytoplasm or in the interior of various cell organelles. It can be around the membrane, say plasma membrane or the membrane lining different organelles, or the place of that particular protein can be outside the cell. And this is called a sorting of that particular protein, and is nothing but once the target is given to the protein, that protein will move towards that target site. So this is called as protein targeting and sorting. So this lecture is important for long question point of view as well as for short note point of view. This can be asked in the KBIL Viva also. You should know the process of this protein targeting. So in this lecture we will study what is protein targeting, why protein is targeted, where it occurs and how it occurs. So all these 4 questions, the answers will be given in the subsequent part of the lecture. So I have already told you what is protein targeting. Protein targeting means whatever protein once it is generated, it is converted into a 3-dimensional structure or 4-dimensional structure, that is its tertiary and quaternary part. Structural organization will be there of that particular protein, and it will become active and will be targeted to a particular site within the cell or outside the cell. So we have studied about the replication, we have studied about the transcription, we have studied about the translation. So up till now we have generated protein from the sequence of nucleotides which are there on the DNA. From DNA information is transmitted to RNA. From RNA it is transmitted to the protein by the process of transcription and by the process of translation. So thus we have protein now, and now this protein has to move to its particular place so that it becomes active and the cell becomes functionally active. So this is protein targeting. And why this protein should be targeted? Unless and until protein is targeted, we cannot have a particular specific function done by that particular protein. So that's why you need target sorting of the proteins which are generated within the cytoplasm, and then targeting these proteins to various places in the cell and outside the cell. So as you all know, in the cell you have various cell organelles such as you have nucleus, Golgi complex, lysosome, you have smooth endoplasmic reticulum, you have rough endoplasmic reticulum, you have cytoplasm, and all these things are there within the eukaryotic cells. So compartments are there in the cell. Different compartments are there within the cell. Each cell organelle do have its own function. Each cell organelle do have its own function to play. And whatever proteins are synthesized in the cytoplasm, they either will remain in the cytoplasm or will be given to the cell organelles, or it will be coming out of the cell to the target site. So remember this thing. Now by definition, this protein targeting can be defined by definition. So after being synthesized on ribosomes, proteins are directed. They are directed to their destined location to elicit their biological functions. This is known as protein targeting. So whatever functions are allotted to the protein, if you want to have those functions done properly within the cell, you have to direct that protein to a particular site which is specific to that particular protein. So whatever site is destined to that particular protein, you have to direct that protein to that particular site so that biological functions will be elicited by the protein. So after being synthesized on ribosomes, you must be knowing for protein biosynthesis, you need ribosomes. You have rRNA, tRNA and mRNA, and ribosomes together will produce protein. And once they are produced, they are directed to their destined location so that their biological functions will be done. So this is called as protein targeting. Now how this particular thing is done, how these proteins are targeted, they are targeted to the specific site with the help of protein targeting pathways. With the help of protein targeting pathways. So what are they? These are the pathways by which proteins are sorted and transported to their proper cellular location. So all these pathways which are there in our body, these pathways, two different pathways are there, and these pathways are meant for sorting and transportation of the proteins which are synthesized with the help of ribosomes to their proper cellular location. These targeting pathways are important so that the proteins will be targeted to the particular space. Now these proteins are targeted to which all sites. So what are the locations to which proteins can be targeted? The first is inner space of a cell organelle. So whatever cell is there in the within the cell, whatever space is there, or within the cell organelle, whatever space is there to that particular cell organelle, that protein can be targeted. These proteins can be targeted to different intracellular membranes. These membranes can be plasma membrane also, or these membranes can be the membranes lining various cell organelles. So within the cell organelle or around the cell organelle in the form of membrane, no doubt to the plasma membrane or to exterior of the cell via secretion. So this can be explained with this particular diagram. So you have a cell. So first thing is to the interior of the cell organelle. So this is a space in between this, either the matrix or intermembranous space, or within the nucleus, or the space of the endoplasmic reticulum, inner space of the endoplasmic reticulum, or the space which is there in the Golgi apparatus. So first is inner space of the organelle or to the intracellular membrane. So these are the membranes, outline of this Golgi apparatus, outline of this particular nuclear membrane, or outer membrane of mitochondria, or outer membrane of this Golgi apparatus. To these membranes, these proteins can be transported. Third is to the plasma membrane. So along this margin, the proteins can be targeted. And fourth is out of the cell. So if this particular diagram will, you will appreciate how the proteins are targeted outside the cell. So this is a cell. This is a cell membrane. This is a cell membrane. This particular thing. Here you can see it's a Golgi apparatus. This is a Golgi apparatus. You have secretory vesicles which are coming out of the Golgi apparatus. These are transport vesicles in which the proteins which are generated in the ribosome, along with the ribosome in the cytoplasm, and this will be given to the secretory vesicles which are coming out of the Golgi apparatus. These vesicles do have these secretory proteins. These proteins will go towards the plasma membrane, and by exocytosis, these proteins will be coming out of the cell. So from the cell, now they are given outside the cell, and these secretory proteins will be given to the extracellular fluid. From there they will be given to the blood, and from blood will be going to different organs. The best example you can give is the hormones such as insulin, which is secreted or which is present in the synthesized by the pancreatic cells. From there it will be coming out of the cell and will be given to the different organs and different cells where the functions of the insulin will be there. So there are a number of proteins which has to be secreted out of the cell. So you can say that these proteins will be targeted to either inner space of the organelle or different cellular membrane, intracellular membranes, or the plasma membrane, or to the exterior of the cell via secretion. So these are the various sites or places to which these proteins are targeted in our body. Now this delivery process is carried out based on the information which is present within the protein itself. So remember this important thing, that this information, where to transport that particular protein, this information is present within the protein itself in the form of signal sequences. Remember this thing, whenever protein is getting synthesized or after its complete synthesis, that particular protein do have certain sequences of amino acids which are called as signal sequences. They are called as signal sequences, and they carry the information. So with the help of that signal which is present within the protein, the information is read by different pathways, and these delivery of these proteins to their specific site will be carried out with the help of the information which is present within the protein itself. Now, correct sorting and targeting is very essential for the cell. If by any chance any errors are there, this will lead to the disease. So, any error in transportation and sorting of the protein, any error is there, this particular error will lead to the diseases. Remember this thing. So, this is very important thing. This delivery process is carried out based on the information contained in the protein itself. So, protein itself will decide where to go because the signal is there with the protein only. Now, these signal sequences that I have told you, these signal sequences are the short sequences of amino acids. These are the short sequences of amino acids. These signal sequences direct proteins to its appropriate location in the cell. So, these signal sequences will help protein to move to the specific site. So, they will direct proteins to its appropriate locations in the cell. And these signal sequences are removed during transport of that particular protein to the specified site, or when protein reaches its final destination, But always remember, there are certain proteins which will carry these signal sequences throughout their life. The signal sequences will not be removed from certain proteins which are designed or destined to certain cellular organelles. So, few of the proteins are there which do have exception to this rule, that removal of the sequences. Otherwise, most of the proteins will remove their signal sequences during the transport only, or when the protein reaches to its final destination. This thing you should remember, but exception, there are few exceptions. Certain proteins will carry these signal sequences. These signal sequences will not be removed from those proteins. Okay, so this diagram will show you the signal sequence. So this is a folded protein, or if you unfold the protein, you have this red patch. It is a signal sequence. It is stretch of amino acids. In certain proteins, it is only 4 to 5 amino acids. In certain proteins, it is 9 to 12 like this. So different types of amino acids can also be there. Certain proteins do have basic amino acids. Certain proteins do have had. So depending on the type of protein, which amino acids, whatever amino acids are there, that will be directing this particular protein to go to that particular site. There are certain proteins, instead of having these signal sequences at the ends, these proteins do have signal sequences in between the complete this chain of polypeptide chain of amino acids. So in between also these signal sequences can be there in certain proteins. And what happens is, when this particular protein, when it folds on itself to have the secondary, tertiary and quaternary structure, these signal sequences will come together to produce a signal patch. Details is not expected for you people for this particular point, but here you should remember that these signal sequences are present at the terminal end, that too at the amino terminal. Certain proteins do have at carboxy terminal also, and certain proteins do have these signal sequences along the stretch of this polypeptide chain. Now, how this sorting or targeting is done? So this is done by two important ways. One is in the cytoplasm by post-translational protein targeting. It is called as cytosolic post-translational protein targeting. Or this can be done co-translationally, that is during the process of translation, these particular proteins are targeted by a rough endoplasmic reticulum. So remember this thing, these pathways that I have told you, these are the two pathways by which the proteins are targeted or sorted. One is in the cytoplasm, operating in the cytoplasm, other operates in the rough endoplasmic reticulum. One occurs post-translationally, that means these proteins will be targeted after their complete synthesis. Post-translational, translation is synthesis of proteins. Post-translational is after synthesis of protein. Once the protein molecule is completely synthesized, then this particular pathway will target those proteins to the specific site. In this particular thing, the protein biosynthesis, when the protein biosynthesis is going on, there at that particular moment, the process of targeting the protein starts with the help of rough endoplasmic reticulum. So this is called as co-translational protein targeting by rough endoplasmic reticulum. Now, the details, molecular details of these two processes, details is not expected from you people. A rough idea I will give you regarding these two processes grossly. So when this coming to the first process, that is cytosolic post-translational transport. So when the proteins are synthesized in the cytoplasm, once that particular protein is synthesized, complete synthesis of protein will be there, and this protein will be there in the cytoplasm. If that particular protein has specific signal sequences, then that particular protein will be transported by this process to mitochondria, to nucleus, to chloroplast, and to peroxisomes. Remember this thing. Once proteins are synthesized in the cytoplasm, if this protein do have signal sequences on it, with the help of this method, that is cytosolic post-translational transport, these proteins will be transported to 4 destinations. One is mitochondria, second is nucleus, third is chloroplast, and fourth is peroxisomes. Now, if that particular protein do not have any signal sequence, then these proteins will remain within the cytoplasm itself. Understood? So, if this protein has signal sequence, once complete synthesis of protein is there, if this protein have signal sequence, then it will be transported to mitochondria, to nucleus, to chloroplast, and to peroxisomes. But at the same moment, if this thing do not have any signal sequence on it, then this protein will remain in the cytoplasm. Remember this thing. Now, the proteins which are destined to mitochondria, these proteins do have two signals. These proteins do have two signals. Either they are directed to matrix, or either these proteins are directed to intramembranous space. So if they are directed to matrix, this one signal is there for the direction of the proteins to go to the matrix. These signals are present on the N-terminal ends of the proteins, remember this thing. And second signal is there for intramembranous space. Now, which all proteins are there which are directed to matrix and which are directed to intramembranous spaces? So all the proteins which are related to the pathways, metabolic pathways, which are occurring in the matrix of the mitochondria, and all the proteins which are there, which are related for electron transport chain, they are present on this matrix and intramembranous spaces. And on the membrane also, there are certain proteins which are directed to the membranes of the mitochondria. Second pathway is there for those proteins. So matrix, which all pathways are operating in the matrix of the mitochondria? So you should recollect those pathways which are occurring. Say they can be from the carbohydrate metabolism, they can be from the lipid metabolism also. So beta oxidation is there. Then from this carbohydrate metabolism, which all pathways are there in the matrix? So when I say that the proteins are directed to the matrix, these proteins are nothing but enzymes. Enzymes are proteins in nature except ribozymes, which are RNA in nature. So whatever proteins are there which are now synthesized completely within the cell by translation, so in the form of in that particular form, these proteins will be designed or destined to go to the matrix, or few proteins are destined to go to the intramembranous space, and these are nothing but certain enzymes also. This can be enzymes also which are required for various metabolic reactions to occur within the matrix, and they do have these two different signals for these two different things. Now the proteins which have their destination in the nucleus. So in the nucleus, which all proteins are there which has to be transported to the nucleus? So various polymerases, DNA, RNA polymerases. Then you have histones, you have topoisomerases. So different types of enzymes and different types of histone-like proteins. So all these things are there which do have their destination for nucleus. So whatever proteins are generated on the ribosomes, they will be going to the nucleus, and they use this particular pathway of cytosolic post-translational transport. Now these things, these proteins are synthesized in the cytoplasm and transported to the nucleus. They have these proteins do have the internal signal sequence called as nuclear localization sequence. So you just have to remember the name of this particular sequence. Details not expected from you people. Here the proteins which are destined to nucleus do have a sequence, signal sequence called as nuclear localization sequence or NLS. Unlike others, this sequence is not cleaved when protein arrives at its destination. I already told you this. Certain proteins are there which do not remove those signal sequences even though they are now at their destination, or these proteins arrives at their destination. These signal sequences will not be removed. So this is true for the proteins which are destined to nucleus. Now this NSL, that is nuclear localization sequence, is located anywhere in the length of the protein, marking them to pass through the nuclear pores. So I have shown you one diagram of the signal sequence where I have shown you that these signal sequences are present along the length of this polypeptide chain. So this is true for the nuclear proteins. These things will, what they will do, they will direct the protein to pass through the nuclear pores. Remember this thing. So this NSL sequence is located anywhere in the length. Otherwise, you have the proteins which are there for the matrix or for the mitochondria with the signal sequences at the N-terminal ends. But here, though proteins which are directed to the nucleus, they do have the signal sequences present anywhere in the length of that particular protein. I have already given you the names of those proteins which are destined to the nucleus. Now, the proteins which are destined to peroxisomes. The classical signal sequence which is there for those proteins is 3 amino acids, serine, lysine and leucine. So these 3 amino acids, when they come together, they form the classical signal for the proteins which are destined to peroxisomes. Now from the cytoplasm, the proteins are moving to peroxisome. Peroxisome is one of the cell organelle, as you know. Remember this scene, they are found at the C terminal of the protein. So this signal sequence is present at the C terminal of the protein. For mitochondrial proteins, you have at the N terminal. For peroxisomes, this signal sequence is at the C terminal. And these signal sequences are called as peroxisome targeting signal. So this is about the peroxisome. So here grossly we can see that this particular ribosome mRNA protein is coming out of it. Complete synthesis of protein will be there. These targeting factors will accompany with this protein. You have targeting signal. This targeting signal is recognized by the receptors present on the membrane, and now they will move to the inside of the cell organelle through the pore. So in this way, this process of transportation will occur from cytoplasm to either to the mitochondria or to the nucleus or to the peroxisome or to the chloroplast. So whatever cell compartment is there in that particular thing, this whole process will be there, and this protein which is completely synthesized with the targeting signal or the signal sequence accepted or recognized by the receptors, it can be a pore. This protein will come into the compartment. This signal sequence, the signal sequence or targeting sequence, this will direct the protein to move inside the cell organelle, and this will be removed during the process of transportation, or it will remain with the protein itself, or it will, once it is there within the site where that particular protein is destined, after arriving that particular site, the sequence will be removed, or that sequence will remain with the protein itself. So this is the thing. Now second pathway is co-translational protein targeting. So this is a little bit complicated thing. So listen to me carefully. In very short way, this particular process is given in certain books. It is this protein targeting as such is not given in all books also. So listen to me carefully how this particular process occurs. This is also called as secretory pathway. This is also called as secretory pathway. The proteins transported by this pathway are the protein which are destined to endoplasmic reticulum membrane, protein which are destined to Golgi complex membrane, proteins which are destined to plasma membrane, and lysosomal enzyme proteins. All these are the proteins which are targeted by the co-translational transport. Once the protein is there with the Golgi complex protein, from the Golgi complex, that protein can be secreted out of the cell. Remember this thing. So this is called a secretory pathway. Now this process of translation, how this particular process is operating, that I will tell you in very short way and in a concise way. And if you have any query regarding this particular sequence of events occurring for the co-translational targeting, you can give me a call and I will explain it again afterwards. So first of all, what happens is synthesis of protein destined to leave the cell or become embedded in the membrane. Say it's a plasma membrane or any type of membrane of various cell organelles. This particular thing occurs by the process of co-translational targeting. So these proteins, they are synthesized. So during synthesis only, during synthesis of the proteins which are destined to leave the cell or become embedded in the plasma membrane begins on the free ribosome. So this process of synthesis begins on the free ribosome. And you know all that whatever protein is being synthesized, it is synthesized with the ribosomes. So the free ribosome is there, and this particular free ribosome, on this ribosome, protein biosynthesis starts, that is translation. And the proteins which are destined to leave the cell or the proteins which are destined to various membranes, so it's a plasma membrane or membrane of endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosomal enzymes, all those things. So these proteins now start synthesis on the free ribosomes. But what happens next is, shortly after the synthesis begins, it process of biosynthesis halts. Up to what time? Up to that ribosomes go and bind to the endoplasmic reticulum. So the process of synthesis begins, but within short period of time, that process of synthesis will stop until that ribosome which the protein is getting synthesized, this ribosome go and bind to the endoplasmic reticulum. Now what happens next is, once the ribosomes anchors endoplasmic membrane, protein biosynthesis begins again. This is very important steps that you should remember. So on free ribosome, protein biosynthesis starts. It halts after a short period of time. This synthesis stops and until the ribosome goes and bind to the endoplasmic reticulum. Once this endoplasmic reticulum binding is there by the ribosome, again the protein biosynthesis starts. Now as newly formed peptide chain exits ribosome, it is transported translationally through the membrane into the lumen of endoplasmic reticulum. Meaning is, when this protein biosynthesis now starts again, you have a small stretch of polypeptide chain which exits out of ribosome. Once that chain exits out of ribosome, this will be transported to the membrane, through the membrane of endoplasmic reticulum into the lumen of endoplasmic reticulum. Now this translocation of this protein to the lumen of endoplasmic reticulum, listen to me carefully, this transportation of the protein through the membrane into the lumen of endoplasmic reticulum, this particular to have 4 components. This is called as translocation. This process is called as translocation. So you have this diagram, I think I have one diagram. So you have this ribosome, you have protein being synthesized in the ribosome initially, it starts synthesizing. Now, once then again stop, the protein biosynthesis stops, and then again you have binding of this thing to the endoplasmic reticulum, and again the process of synthesis will stop. And once that thing come out of the ribosome, it is called as nascent chain. This particular thing then will have this pathway. These are different components of this pathway. This is called as translocation through the endoplasmic lumen of the endoplasmic reticulum. I will explain it. So the translocation consists of four components. First is you should know about the signal sequence present on the protein which is getting synthesized on the ribosome. Then you should know something about the signal recognition particle. Then you have signal recognition receptor, and you have translocon. So these four components are there. Signal sequence, this is recognized by a particle called as SRP, that is signal recognition particle. This SRP will go and bind to a receptor called as SRP receptor, and this receptor and translocon together will cause translocation of that particular protein from the endoplasmic reticulum, lumen of the endoplasmic reticulum. Now the signal sequence for this type of pathway, the signal sequence, that is this what we are dealing with is the co-translational protein targeting by rough endoplasmic reticulum. So for this particular thing, the signal sequence is 9 to 12 hydrophobic amino acid residues. This thing you should know very well. These are the hydrophobic amino acid, and that too 9 to 12 amino acid should be there to form the signal sequence. This is present at the N terminal of the nascent polypeptide chain, that is at the amino terminus of the polypeptide chain. Then the presence of signal sequence identifies the nascent peptide as one that must cross the endoplasmic reticulum. So whatever polypeptide chain is getting out or getting exit out of the ribosome, if this particular chain do have such type of sequence of amino acids at the N terminal, if this particular signal sequence is there, it identifies that nascent peptide as one that must cross endoplasmic reticular membrane. Remember this. So once this signal sequence is there with the protein, this has to cross the endoplasmic reticular membrane. Now second part of this translocation is signal recognition particle called like SRP. This SRP recognizes this signal sequence. This SRP recognizes the signal sequence which is there at the N terminal of the protein. Binds to the sequence and ribosomes as soon as signal sequence exits of the ribosome. So this can be explained diagrammatically like this. So once this signal sequence come out of the ribosome, this SRP recognizes this signal sequence and it will bind to the ribosome as well as to the nascent polypeptide chain where the signal sequence is there. Are you getting me? So this is a chain which is getting out of the ribosome. This is a signal sequence. This is detected by signal recognition particle, that is SRP particle. This particle binds to ribosome as well as to the polypeptide chain or signal sequence. So this signal SRP binds to the sequence and the ribosome as soon as the signal sequence exits ribosome. Got it. Now this SRP guides ribosome. Now this SRP is bound to the ribosome also, and it is bound to the signal sequence also. Now once it is bound, this SRP guides ribosome and the nascent polypeptide chain to which this particular thing is bound to the endoplasmic reticulum. So this particular SRP, once it is bound to the ribosome and to the polypeptide chain on which signal sequence is there, which is nascent polypeptide chain, these both the entities are directed to the endoplasmic reticular membrane with the help of SRP. Binding of SRP to the signal sequence leads to the blocking of elongation factor binding site, thereby halting translation. As I told you, for few seconds or for few period of time, this process of elongation will stop once the SRP binds to the signal sequence, and all these sequences when they are occurring, there occurs blocking of elongation factor binding site, thereby halting translation. Now you have third component of this translocation process. This called as SRP receptor, that is signal sequence recognition protein receptor. So this SRP receptor is an integral membrane protein. So it is present on the membrane of endoplasmic reticulum, and SRP ribosome complex, SRP ribosome, and in the ribosome you have this SRP is bound to the polypeptide chain signal also. So all this thing is a complex called as SRP ribosome complex. This SRP ribosome complex diffuses to the endoplasmic reticulum by binding to this receptor. So this diagram will explain the thing. So you have this ribosome, you have this SRP, you have this polypeptide chain whose elongation is stopped now, and this particular complex, this is a complex. This complex when binds to the SRP receptor, this thing binds to the SRP receptor, these receptors are present on the endoplasmic reticulum. And once this particular thing is there, the SRP will now diffuse this particular thing to the endoplasmic reticulum by binding. The next thing is translocon. This is a translocation machinery. This particular is a protein channel. This particular entity is a protein conducting channel. Remember this thing. It is present on the endoplasmic reticulum. Now this particular thing is protein conducting channel. It's a translocation machinery which translocates the protein which is being synthesized on the ribosome. This translocon receives ribosomes from SRP-XR complex. So this translocon, once the ribosome with SRP binds to the SR, that is receptor, these ribosomes are received by translocon. There is a protein conducting channel, and this channel opens when ribosomes binds to the translocon. So once the ribosome binds to translocon, this channel will open and resumption of protein synthesis with growing polypeptide chain passing through the translocon channel into the lumen of endoplasmic. So what all things are happening on the endoplasmic reticulum? Different entities are there. One is the SR, that is receptor for this SRP. So ribosome with the polypeptide chain to which SRP is bound, they together bind to the SR, that is receptor for this particular entity. They together will bind to the translocon, and translocon will receives ribosomes in which protein biosynthesis is going on, and this resumption of protein biosynthesis will be there. So again protein will start synthesizing once it attaches to translocon, and whatever protein is synthesized, that growing polypeptide chain will pass through the translocon channel. It is nothing but a protein conducting channel to the lumen of the endoplasmic reticulum. So now the protein is within the endoplasmic reticulum. Have you understood the concept? So in this way, this SRP will be removed, this receptor will also be removed, or the connection between these things will be lost. Ribosome will with the protein is accepted by the translocon. Orange thing is translocon. This is a protein conducting channel. So once ribosome binds to the translocon, the channel opens. Otherwise, it is closed. Ribosome is not still bound to it. Once it bounds to the thing, these things will be detached, and what this is SRP. This is receptor for SRP. This thing will be detached, and the ribosome will open this protein channel. Now the process of elongation or process of translation is stopped over here. This again will begin. So again the resynthesis of the protein will be there with the ribosome, and the newly synthesized protein molecule will enter in the endoplasmic reticular lumen. So now this protein will be there within the lumen, and once the protein is synthesized, this will go to the lumen in the endoplasmic reticulum, and the ribosomes will be detached from it. Now in the translocon you have signal peptidase. Signal peptidase are those enzymes which will break that signal sequences. These are associated with the translocon, and as the proteins are synthesized within the translocon only, or once in the endoplasmic reticular lumen, this will be organized to produce three-dimensional structure in the lumen only. So now in the lumen, in the endoplasmic reticular lumen, you have three-dimensional structure protein, which is structural organization of protein now present in the lumen. This thing will be transported to transport vesicles. These transport vesicles burst off from the endoplasmic reticulum. So whatever cargo of protein is there is now newly synthesized protein is present in the transport vesicle. These transport vesicles will burst off the endoplasmic reticulum and will go to Golgi complex. And further modification of the proteins occur in the Golgi complex, and from Golgi complex, the transport vesicles, which with the proteins which are newly synthesized proteins are there, they will go to the final destination. So this is the process. So once you have these many sequences, proteins will be there. From this endoplasmic reticulum, the proteins will be transported in the form of transport vesicles. They will be given to endoplasmic reticulum. From endoplasmic reticulum, the transport vesicles bursts off will be given to this Golgi apparatus, and from the Golgi apparatus the transport vesicles come out. I have already shown you the diagram initially only how these things are coming out of the this diagram. You can appreciate. So these are the transport vesicles which is coming out of the Golgi apparatus with the proteins inside it, and these proteins will be going to their secretory vesicles are there, transport vesicles are there, and now these proteins will be going to the their destinations. So in this way, this co-translational process of protein targeting goes on. Now there are few disorders which are associated with the protein targeting and sorting. So these disorders, if they are there, if any step in this targeting of the protein or sorting the protein is defective at any level, if it is there, if any deficiency of the different proteins or different pathways, any mutation, anything is there, no, this particular thing is associated with the disorders, and these disorders, they will lead to oxidative stress, neurodegenerative disorders, and metabolic disorders. Now I will just enumerate those disorders. Details again not expected. When the long answer is there, you should write the names of these disorders. Disorders due to mitochondrial targeting signal. This is primary hyperoxaluria type 1 and pyruvate dehydrogenase deficiency. The disorders related to paroxysmal matrix protein import, they are Zellner syndrome, neonatal adrenoleukodystrophy, and infantile Refsum's disease. These are the diseases which are related to this. Now, in certain books, n number of other things also they are given. N number of other diseases they are also mentioned. Lot many disorders are there, but at least you should write these many things when you are attempting the question. So when you are attempting this question as a long question, whatever points I have under whatever headings I have completed this particular lecture, all these headings should be covered, including some introduction regarding the protein targeting, then definition, the different pathways, how they are operating, their processes, which all proteins are targeted to, which all destinations, and the diagrammatic representation of these pathways, and then disorders associated with the protein targeting. So this completes your long answer. This can be asked as a short note also. So this is about the protein targeting and disorder. So I think we will stop here. If you read this thing I think only 2 or 3 books on this particular